Hi, welcome to the 2013 New York AES show. My name's Mike Deming. We're here at the Charter Oak booth, and today we're looking at one of our new products, which is probably the most powerful parametric equalizer that you'll find in either a console equalizer or a 15-pin format equalizer. This equalizer gives you constantly variable parametric control from 20 Hertz all the way up to 20 kilohertz in 3 extremely wide overlapping bands. The bottom band runs from 20 Hertz all the way up to 500. The mid band runs from 500 Hertz all the way up to 10 kilohertz. And then the top band runs from 800 Hertz all the way up to 20 kilohertz. On the inside pot, you have adjustment of the center frequency selection. On the outer pot, you have adjustment of the bandwidth from 1/16 of an octave to 2 octaves. Of course, we've given you shelf and bell selection switch in both the top and bottom bands. And then a really nice feature is the frequency divided by 10 switch in the mid band. Cut and boost is done on this Cherry Electric 12-position decimal switch with a lever actuator. And it's done in a kind of a logarithmic curve. You have +2, +4, +6, 9, then 12. And on the bottom, it's on the cut side, it's the same way. But if you go all the way to the end here, you see the infinity symbol, and that gives you -24. So now you have a constantly variable notch filter. If you run this over to 1/16 of an octave, it's very, very useful for correcting resonances and that sort of thing.
So why using a switch?
The switch, well, the switch is precise, obviously. The switch has a PC board hanging off of the back of it, and we, install fixed resistors to it that are a 0.1% tolerance. Also, you can recall your cut and boost settings. It's repeatable. So, I think it's, also I like the feel of it. So for those reasons, we decided to go with this switch on the cut and boost. The unit also has high and low pass filters, which are musical. They're not the typical 24 dB per octave filters. You have a low pass, which brings you down 10 dBs at 20K, and a high pass, which brings you down 10 dBs at 20 Hertz. And then, of course, you have the in-out switch. So all in all, it's a lot of power packed into a very small module. I've seen no 500 series or 15-pin type EQ module that has this much versatility and this much adjustability.
Why do you think 500 series is so hot? Why is this here to stay?
Yeah, 500 series is definitely here to stay because, in today's home recording world especially, 500 series became popular originally, I think, because producers, well, like myself, when I was producing records, it was very convenient to load up a bunch of different modules, mic pre's, EQs, etc., in what they called a lunchbox and carry it around. It was easy to carry it through the airport, easy to ship it to your next session, all that sort of thing. Now they've become incredibly popular because, the age of the big studio with the big production console, which has so many facilities, EQ, routing, etc., that is going away. And having these small power supplies, which will accept many, many types of modules that are built on the same standard pinout, is very convenient. Somebody can have a 8 or 12 space power supply like this and mix and match all kinds of microphone preamplifiers, equalizers, compressors, etc.
So you have one rock solid power supply.
That's
one
right.
Power cord.
Yeah, it's
not 15 wall warts.
That's right. It's very convenient.
Yeah.
You can build these power supplies with TT, TRS, 1/4 inch, XLR coming out of the back. I always carried mine around to from one big studio to the other. So, mine always had TT in the back, so I could just sit it next to the patch bay and plug it right in. But it's definitely here to stay, just because of the complexion of the business today. The way things are getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Consoles have smaller footprints. Recording spaces are very small, and many people are recording at home. So this gives a lot of versatility, and it's effective.
And what else? And else in the rack mount line? What else do we have just going down from top to bottom?
Top to bottom, you see the SCL1. This is a famous box. This has been out on the market for several years now and has sold several hundred units. It's really the world's only artifact-free compressor. designed this box so that it would only return to the constantly changing RMS average, and the user selects a range of dynamic compression. Within that range, the attack and release controls take effect. The unit exhibits no pumping, no gasping, no distortion, no high-end roll-off, which is really serious in a compressor. It's down 2 dBs at 32K when it's doing 20 dBs of gain reduction. So you'll experience no collapse of your stereo image. It really is a special design. Moving down the rack here, you have our PEQ1 stereo program equalizer, which is also built on some pretty different principles. This gives you center frequency selections ranging from 20 hertz all the way up to 50 kilohertz. The unit is a true stereo unit, which works with fixed 2-octave wide bell curves. This equalizer is a tone control. It's not a corrective equalizer. But one thing that's really important that I need to point out here is that in the top and bottom bands you have plus and minus 12 dBs of available boost and cut. On the 5K, 8K, and 8120 filters, you have an availability of 8 dBs of boost and cut, and then in the mids, where your ears are very sensitive, from 400 all the way up to 2K, or 3K rather, you have the availability of 4 dBs of boost and cut. That makes you really comfortable to open these pots all the way up and get very fine adjustment in the mid-range. So it's an incredibly musical box, which is really an enhancement tool. This is to be strapped across your mix bus or at the very end of your mastering signal path, after your compressor, and certainly after your parametric EQ, which has done corrections for you. And then down here we have the MPA1, which has just won the Resolution Award for quality and innovation, as you can see. And this is a dual channel microphone preamplifier, which it combines some features that for years I used to patch together for myself using 2 or 3 devices. What you have is 60 dBs of gain on a switch, 60 dBs of gain in 10 dB steps on this, here, so you can see. So you have this switched input gain. This is connected to the very clean transformerless input stage of the device. That's followed by 20 more dBs of gain on this constantly variable pot driving the output section, and that's transformer balance. So the engineer can basically mix the clean side with the transformer balance side to achieve a range of results with regards to coloration. If I'm recording acoustic guitar, I'm probably going to have these set something more like this. On the contrary, if we're recording bass guitar and I want a bit of saturation and more sustain, I might start with the output turned all the way up, and then start to add gain from the input side until I get some saturation. So there's some versatility here with regards to how you can get the sound, the coloration of the sound, totally transparent versus slightly colored. Then this is the nicest high and low pass filter that you'll find on any preamp or any console. 12 dB per octave filters with an extremely wide range. High pass goes from 10 hertz all the way up to 200, and the low pass goes from 10K to 60K. So you'll find that you can, even with a cheap microphone, really make the thing start to sound sweet by rolling off some of these really high harmonics and doing it in a way that it's not just chopping off all the top end. It's a very gradual curve and extremely musical. So and these are of course bypassable on both sides. And then you have the typical features you'll find in most professional mic pre's, 48 volts DC to the for your phantom power mics, mic and line selector, 10 dB pad, and a phase reverse switch. So that pretty much wraps up what you see, here in our processing rack.
What's your most voiceover-centric microphone? What do you really like for the voiceover actor who needs a really nice mic that's going to work well in a good room?
That's a good question. We have VO actors that use the 538. We have VO actors that prefer a solid-state mic and use the E700 or the S700. The E700 has a very big sound. It has a very hot output. It's a very quiet microphone, and it's very dependable. I would say that's most popular in the VO community. Although, like I said, there are several guys who I know and girls who use the SA538. Those tend to be people who are a little bit more engineering savvy and can deal with a vacuum tube mic and the maintenance of it and that sort of thing.
Right.
The E700, on the other hand, that's a carefree microphone. You plug it, plug and play. It's no problem. You send it 48 volts phantom power, and you're good to go. Same with the S700. The S700 is nice because it's front address. You just speak right into the front of it like most broadcast microphones, and that adds a little bit more simplicity to it. You can hang it right in front of your mouth. I know most VO guys these days, they work at home. They might be sitting at a desk. You just hook that thing up to your desk stand and put it in front of you, and it's incredibly convenient. I'm Michael Deming. I'm the president and founder of Charter Oak Acoustic Devices. We're based in Enfield, Connecticut, and we have an office in Los Angeles. Thanks for coming by and looking at our stuff.